I do not mean to pry, but you don't by any chance happen to have 6 fingers on your right hand?
Well, hello everybody. I'm going to do something a bit different, and this was a request, and so I've never done this before, but this was a request, so I'm going to see if I can make this happen. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a keychain, but we're going to make it with a noose on one end. Okay. So first thing we need to do is we need to make the noose. So um, a noose is fairly straightforward to make. So what we're going to do is, so if I bend this over, this is called a bite. So anytime you have a tight bend on it, that's called a bite. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a bite here, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to make another bite right there. So let's go ahead and we'll give ourselves just a little bit more. So I don't know how much we're going to need, but we'll make a bite like that. All right, so we have a bite here and a bite here. Okay, does that make sense? So we have paracord going this way. We have paracord going this way. Now, what we're going to do, and this is more than enough for what I've got going on here. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to lay these three side by side, right? So we got our bite going this way. Now, what we do is we take the one strand that goes off to the side here, and we're just going to start wrapping it around, okay? So we're going to start wrapping it upon itself, and we're going to work our way that direction as we wrap, okay? So one of the things with a noose is, they call them the hangman's noose or whatever. But one of the things, in order for it to be a proper noose, it has to be at least seven. Do it this way, seven wraps. So right now we got one wrap, and between 7 and 13 is generally what it is. So and we're just gonna try to pull it tight. It's gonna be a little bit difficult with the paracord because it is so flexible. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. We can kind of count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not counting this one because this is the one I started with. Okay. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so technically that's a legal one, right? But we'll do a couple extra. We'll do 8 and 9. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I have plenty of cord. So now what we do is we feed this up through this bite here, because what's going to happen is as we pull this one through, right? So as we pull this through, it's going to actually pull. Oops, we got to pull this side. We're actually going to pull this, and it's going to tighten. See, as we pull this through, we'll pull this tight here. We pull this one through. Oops, this one. Sorry. As you pull this one through, it's going to tighten itself. Okay. So now paracord makes it a little bit more difficult to do this, but if you pull this good and tight, you won't have a problem with it, right? So um, there we go. So now we've got this. This is our lasso or our hangman's noose. So we can, um, you know, this will go, and it slides rather easily, but at the same time, it's not like, I mean, it won't move if I do this, right? So here you go. There's your hangman's noose. And it's staying pretty tight. I mean, you could probably pull it apart if you really wanted to, but I don't know why you would. So let's kind of pull, oops, not that one. Let's pull this one. So if we pull this, one of these, here's this side. The other one, pull it on itself. Okay, yeah. So if we pull it that way, we can kind of pull it tight on itself, and so we'll go ahead and pull that back through, and get it good and tight on itself. All right, so you can tighten it up a little bit. So basically what I did was I pulled this here. Oops, not that one. I pulled this one here, right? So if you pull one of these, this one here, this will pull this part here. It pulls that tight, okay? So that's what I was doing there. And then we'll just pull this through, and this gets pulled tight. That tightens it all up. So this will tighten it all up. So now, after you have the bottom done, you can easily cut this, right? So we'll cut this, and then we'll melt this good, and that's going to lock this in, so you don't have to worry about this coming apart down here. So we're going to get it good and melted. So if you can see that there, it's very good and melted. So we'll just stick that there. So as you can see, I melted that really, really well. It's stuck to itself, right? And we can still pull this through, no problem, right? It pulls through, no problem, and it still pulls this way. And like I said, it slides smoothly, but it's not loose. Like there's no way, like I can't just do this and it's not gonna come loose. So if we do this, and then what we want to do is we're gonna leave let's say another 18 2-foot. Okay, so we're gonna cut off just a couple extra feet, just for fun. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm just gonna burn this because I don't like it to pull apart while I'm working with it. Okay, now what we need is we need some key rings. Okay, so here we have some key rings. All right, so for this one, the way this key ring is going to go in, I want to have kind of a smaller one. So I've got this smaller one linked in with this bigger one, and you can buy these different key rings in packs at Walmart, right? So you can just buy them, no problem. So now what we want to do is we want to actually um, get this little one. And the reason why we want to have the little one and leave the big one loose, yeah, I mean, you'd have a couple options. So one of the things I like to do is I like to actually, you can also put like, little carabiners or something like that. So you can get carabiners at Walmart or other places, and you can hook that onto it. So that allows you to, hook it onto other things or whatever. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to um, hook in through the little one, and that leaves this one loose so we can actually put our keys on it. Okay, so we're gonna hook this in, and the way we're gonna do this is you go through the hole, and then you just go around everything, push everything up through it, and then that creates our little hitch. There's a special name for it. I can't remember what it's called. Any Boy Scouts out there can tell me. So we're gonna pull that through, and so what I'm doing is I'm just leaving enough room that I can then do a knot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, actually I need to leave a bit more, so let's push this through, and we'll pull this through, and that. Okay, so I'm going to just do the same knot that I've been doing, this snake knot or whatever, right? I'm just going to keep doing that same knot. And the reason why I'm doing this knot is I want to lock this in here. So what we do is we got our loop there. We go underneath, and we're going to push this through. Now, mind you, when we do this, we could do something else if we wanted to, but when you do this knot, you have to feed the entire, you have to feed this entire um, noose through. So you're gonna need to leave yourself some space there, right? So this noose has got to go all the way through here, and there we go. Now we can pull this tight and this one tight, and we'll push this right up to the top. And see, once you get this knot tied, it holds pretty tight. All right. Like I said, it's the same knot I've been doing, and you could have done like one of the Solomon knots, whatever. Doesn't really matter. But we want to make sure that it's going to be a tight knot because we don't want this to come loose. Otherwise, your keys are going to fall off. So what I'm going to do is this one we can cut and we can melt it, right? The other one we're not going to cut. It's going to stay on there. And we'll melt it like this. And use our scissors again. And there we go. So here we have ourselves a Noose keychain. So you could hook it to something, have your keys still on here. Well, that's a little tight. So you could have that on there, put your keys in your car, and look, even if you pulled your keys out, boom, your hand, it's still in your hand. Now, granted, I wouldn't drive with this thing, with your keys on this thing or whatever. But if for some reason you wanted to have a noose with a keychain, you could have that. This was actually requested by my good friend Jan. She wanted to see this. Now, Jan, you'll have to tell me if this is like the one that you have. If not, I'd be curious where it's different. It could be different here where this knot is. I suppose it could be. It is possible. You could probably put the keys on there. There's a couple different things that you could do with that. So there you go. There is a Noose keychain. Pretty interesting. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
That's enough for the moment. His time will come